Hi everyone. So I'm going to talk about mean women, jealous men, and sabotage. Um, I'm going to talk about you know the cover envy because sometimes it's not obvious. Sometimes you are you are in confusion. Sometimes you will feel confused, and there's going to be times when you feel uncomfortable. You will feel uneasy around them. They're in a bad mood. They're angry. Um, you just don't feel comfortable, and whatever you say or do, there's going to be a lot of shade and digs, and it won't be a good feeling all the time. You're going to want to, you know, you might feel uncomfortable for a while, um, and you'll not be sure because, you can be humble. You can be humble and still understand that some people will be envious, even if you know your life is in, even though you know that right now your life is not where you want to be. You're not where you want to be. And sometimes people are deluded and they don't understand that you're a human being. Because when it comes to envy, um, it could turn to objectification. Now they see you as this object they're envious of. And sometimes it can be quite disheartening because you want to do God's will. You want to be on purpose. And because of your confidence, they see it as arrogance. And even if you're insecure and you're going through stuff, sometimes they see it as like you're acting, like you're being an actress and you're putting it on. So it's so important. So the first thing we're gonna look at is exclusion. Um, when someone has deep envy and they're insecure, they won't say, "Oh, I hate your work. I hate what you do." Sometimes they'll just exclude you, and sometimes it's not obvious. They'll pretend they forgot. Other people will try to persuade them, and it gets embarrassing because you feel like, why do people have to convince people and force collaborations? Why can't it just be in a nice, sweet way? You have good intentions, and sometimes when it comes to team effort and unity and sisterhood, sometimes that doesn't happen. Sometimes they let their jealousy and envy and insecurity get in the way, and you can't take it personally. You have God by your side. There's no need to gossip, or be in rebellion, or do witchcraft or cursing. Just put God first. Let God guide you. Let God show you what to do. Because sometimes when you go through stuff like exclusion and isolation, sometimes you feel like you have to tell someone you're angry. It makes you angry. It can make you angry. It can make you want to find out what's going on. And you don't have to do all that. You can just pray to God and, tell God how you feel. This person make you feel uncomfortable. They're making you feel uncomfortable. They keep throwing shade and digs. And you're just trying to do the right thing. You're just trying to be, you're just trying to do the right thing. You're trying to be kind, and you have good intentions. You have good intentions, but they just don't see it that way. And you've gone through a lot. You've gone through so much abuse and loss, and you've gone through so much trials, and it's disheartening when someone objectifies you, when someone sees you and they want to just hurt you even more. And it's so ignorant, but it happens. It's so ignorant, but it happens. You're going through a hard time and you thought you'd be safe, and next thing you know, it's just really, really bad what's going on. So you have to put God first. When it comes to envy and jealousy, and when it comes to envy and jealousy, you have to really really, really. Hold on a second, guys. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Yeah, sorry. When it comes to you know, exclusion and someone being passive aggressive, it can be really, really disheartening, you know, and especially comments like, trolls online, and it's just pure ignorance. Sometimes when someone picks on you or mistreats you, sometimes it's ignorance, and you can't take it personally. Even throwing shade, the same person uplifting you and encouraging you, giving you a prophetic word, the same leader that encouraged you and put you like you're going through a bad place, and they uplifted you and they encouraged you. Now they're throwing shade and digs, and you can't idolize your leaders or your pastor. You can't idolize people, because sometimes they can get envious, they can get jealous, they can get insecure, and trying to do your thing, and you after the pain you've gone through, you come out the other side, and they just can't stand the fact that you're happy now. So it's so important not to take it personally when it comes to envy, because they do see somebody as an object. You're just an object to them. When they become envious, that's why it's so important not to take it personally, because when someone's envious, they start to delude themselves. They say, oh, this person doesn't deserve this. This person doesn't deserve this. I should be in that position right now. And the witchcraft, they start to curse you. Yo, you never make it, you never make it, you don't deserve it, you never make it, you never make it, you never make it, you don't deserve it. And then on and on and on. It just carries on, and next thing you know, the devil's trying to tell them, oh yeah, curse them, they don't deserve it. And we all think that witchcraft is just about spells and going to somebody, paying someone, but sometimes witchcraft can be you cursing somebody through word cursing, praying, and wishing for somebody's downfall, and envy. So it's so important that if you're feeling confused, if you feel confused and you're unsure of a person, it's important to pray. You don't go around trying to be a people pleaser, and chasing people, because I see it all the time. They're confused. They don't feel the love. They don't feel like they're connecting. They start people pleasing. They start doing the most. They start doing everything for the person, and the person's just cursing them. They don't like them, and they start to feel like they have spirit of rejection, thinking, oh, nobody likes me. But because of the person's envy, they go around gossiping and trying to sabotage your name. And you're just trying to be kind. That's why it's so important to pray, so God can show you who these people are. And you really have to be you have to be discerning of people, that what they say and their intentions as well. So when it comes to rejection, you know um rejection hurts, but what spirit of rejection wants you to feel is, that you have to be somebody else. Just be your unique self. Just be your unique self. Be yourself, and don't take it personally. Don't take rejection personally. And always put God first. Don't idolize cliques. Don't idolize marriage. Don't idolize people. They're human beings. They're human beings, and you can't take it personally. You can't take it personally, and you really have to, put God first, and don't you'd have to go around gossiping, because sometimes when someone is insecure and jealous, they do a lot of sabotaging. And even if you feel like you have nothing, some people feel like they don't have anything, and the person jealous still and envious, and they don't even have anything. They lost their job. They lost their family is hating on them, and they're going through abuse. They're dealing with grief. They feel like an orphan, and they feel like they're lost and they don't have anybody, and they come to church and the person destroys their life just by looking at their testimony. They might be cursing them, and they've gone through enough already. And it's just so important not to compare yourself on social media. What you see on social media, you can't be envious of somebody's page. You don't know what they're going through. They come to church because they want to be healed, they want to be seen. They're fed up of being used. They're fed up of being abused, and they just want to come to church. That they want that father figure, they want that mother, they want a godly mother that can take care of them, and they want that good father that can father them and tell them it's going to be okay. They don't need an envious man and someone with an ego problem. They haven't got time for that. People are broken. They're broken, and they lost a lot, and they just want that father figure, and that motherly figure, and everyone's just, you know, not everyone, but sometimes when it comes to, being power driven, money driven, numbers obsessed, we could lose the whole mission. That shouldn't be our mission. Our mission should be loving people and taking care of them and validating their experience. We're not supposed to gaslight people because some people are different. They want to tell their story, and usually they're just gaslighted, and they're saying, "Oh, I've been through worse," and they're bitter and they're angry and they just talk over the person. "Oh, I've been through worse," and all this stuff, and they just don't validate people. And we have to stop doing that. We have to stop trying to, talk over people and listen. People want to be listened to. People want to be listened to, and we have to really, really listen and be nurturing and kind. There's way too much clicks. We've got enough clicks. There's enough events. Listen to somebody, and being about purpose and healing is so important, because sometimes, when some people going through so much, they lost their family, they're the black sheep of the family, they're getting exploited at work, they're getting harassed at work, they're getting bullied at work, they're going through abuse after abuse, and and they're just trying to do the right thing, going to church and find the right fellowship, because some people don't have a good mother, some people don't have good aunties, some people don't have good friends, some people don't have good co-workers, some people don't have it at all. They don't have a support system. They don't have anybody they can talk to, and they come to church and someone's being envious. They're being envious, they're putting somebody down, and when it comes to like mistreatment, bullying, exploitation, we have to be very careful how we treat people. We can't be numbers driven. We can't be numbers driven. And when someone's called to ministry, the amount of spiritual warfare that person goes through, when someone has ministry, they go through so much spiritual warfare, and we can judge and say, "Oh, the person's a witch, the person does witchcraft, the person, is witchcraft, it's witchcraft." But sometimes it's not. Sometimes there are people in church that are envious, and they use word curses or cursing in private, and the person's life is like falling apart because of their envy. All they have to do is repent, ask God for forgiveness, and and do the right thing. But they can't control the jealousy. They can't control it. They can't control the jealousy. They can't help themselves. And we have to look within. We need to start looking within and start showing ourselves, being real, being authentic, and be real. Because this whole, clicks, being money obsessed, fame obsessed, numbers driven, using fear tactics and shame, it has to stop. You can't use fear tactics. You can't use shame tactics. It's witchcraft. And we have to know the difference between being nurturing and being controlling. You can't control somebody's life. We can't control anybody's life. We only can have self-control is key. Having self-control is key. So I'm going to talk about, the culture. I'm going to talk about the culture as well, yeah. So, when it comes to, there's a lot of talk about kinder marriage. Kinder marriage is talked about a lot, but what people don't understand with marriage is about men that are very feminine. And unfortunately, some men are very, very insecure and prideful. There are men out there that are very, very, very prideful, insecure, they're angry, they have selfish ambition, they just want to blow. And they're just so desperate to be seen, and they're so desperate to be heard. They want cheers, they want claps, and they're so desperate to be seen. And when it comes to insecure men, you can't mess around with them. You can't mess around. You can't just, think it's normal and just try to, you just try to be sweet to them and and you're like trying to uplift them, because they'll just attack you. I've seen it happen. They attack good women, and I see women feeling overlooked because, insecure boys, they drag in bad girls and try to fix them because they want to feel needed. They have that codependency. And we have to be honest. We can't lie to women and say, oh, just keep trying and, you're the problem. Sometimes men are the problem too. Some people have different flaws, and we have to be honest. Some men are very, very jealous, feminine, soft, and they can't help it. Some of them can't help it. And they're surrounded by women. They have no father figure. A lot of women helped him, and they're always surrounded by women that are masculine. A lot of them are masculine, and he might feel emasculated sometimes. But I'm seeing a lot of women talk about kinder marriage. But in order for a man to lead, he has to be masculine. He has to have those traits. He has to be confident. A man with low self-esteem will just throw shit at you. He'll just throw digs. He'll just be a hater. Everything you do, when you're doing your thing, he has to throw shade all the time. I've seen it all the time. I've seen it a lot. A girl doing her thing, and she's happy. She's content. She has healthy self-esteem, and she's doing her thing, and he's questioning it. He's then he's throwing shade. He's throwing digs. He's being horrible to her and throwing indirect digs, and he's being aggressive and a bully, and he's trying to ignore her and, being passive aggressive. It's not what we think, and we have to be very honest. In order for us to be confident, have healthy self-esteem, be content, and be on purpose for God, we have to realize that sometimes men, they are insecure, they are intimidated, and they will throw shade. They will throw a lot of shade and digs. They won't be supportive. A lot of men won't be supportive, and we have to understand that they might bring in a bad girl, and you might feel like, oh, that's not fair. I've been a good girl for years. I've been in the ministry for years. I've been a good girl for years, and he just comes in with a bad girl, and that's why it's so important not to idolize kinder marriage. It's not what you think. It really isn't what you think. Some men are so insecure. It's the same old cycle. They're feminine, they're soft, they're insecure, they're codependent, they're broken, and they're so desperate for fame. They want so much validation, and they're needy, and sometimes, in order for them to feel good about themselves, they have to bring a bad woman in. Someone that's broken, they can fix, so they can feel better about themselves. That's why it's so important to put God first. It's so important to put God first, because if we don't, we idolize marriage, and a man comes in with a broken woman, and she's a lukewarm Christian, and she's not really there yet. You're gonna feel resentful. Don't idolize kinder marriage. Don't idolize kinder marriage. Don't idolize kinder marriage. A lot of men out there, they are broken and they want to fix somebody. They have that codependent mindset. You don't want to be with a guy like that. You don't want to be with a guy like that needs to fix somebody so they can feel better about themselves. And I'm sorry to say it, but some men are just like sadist. Some men are sadists, unfortunately. A lot of people in church are. They're sadists. They love seeing pain. They love seeing people in pain. The moment someone gets happy and content, They have to tear them back down, saying, "Oh, you're not doing this." They do shame tactics, they do fear tactics, and they bully people, and they put them down again, and it's like a roller coaster. Some Christian men don't like peace. They don't like peace and doing God's will. Sometimes it's just false humility. It's false humility. It's a social club to some people, and they don't want to feel lonely. So you have to be very, very discerning on, women that trying to sabotage you. They pick at your weaknesses. They pick at your weaknesses. They pick on your flaws all the time. Never acknowledge your strengths. Always trying to find a flaw, and there's like searching for it, and because they're their spirituality. Mean Girls, the Mean Girls movie. I was like, oh yeah, Mean Girls, but spirituality. They know details. You'll be shocked to know. So it's so important not to, you know, um, be private. Know when to be quiet. Because some people are so envious. They want to sabotage you. They want to tear you down and humble you. And it's so important to know the church you go to. What kind of church do you want to go to? What are your values? What do you want? What do you want in a man? What do you want? What kind of career do you want? What's your purpose? Where do you want to go? And you have to understand that when it comes to envy and jealousy, mean women, how much are you willing to take? How much, like, how are you gonna deal with you know um bullies and people that mistreating you? Are you gonna sit there and take it? Are you gonna move on? Are you gonna do praying and fasting for them? What's your limit? What is your limit? What are you gonna do? It's really, really important. It's really, really important because when it comes to sabotage, bullying, mistreatment, exploitation, you know, intimidation, spiritual abuse, witchcraft, rejection, isolation, blame, it's blaming you for things, double standards, you being a scapegoat. How much are you willing to tolerate? Is it worth tolerating? And figure out why you part of a certain stuff. So hope that helps. I'm gonna come off the live now. Um, hope you enjoyed it, and thank you for listening.